course, it is all eyes on ParisLongchamp this weekend, and we've got a real treat because we are delighted to welcome to the show trainer Aidan O'Brien. What a few days ahead for the team, Aidan. I know you're so busy. Thank you so much for taking time out this morning. Let's start with the Arc if we can, Aidan, and how pleased you've been with Continuous since that brilliant win in the St Leger.
Yeah, good, Gina. Everything has went well since. Everyone has been very happy with him. Andrew was in charge of him. Aoife rides him every day, and Rachel rides him in his work. So everyone is very happy since. He's hasn't done a lot, but done a couple of pieces, and seems very good.
And to the eye, I know people watching would have thought, you know, that potentially was a hard race. How's he going to recover in 2 weeks? How hard a race was it in your view, from what you've seen in his recovery?
Yeah, no, he didn't lose much weight. I think he only lost a couple of kilos, which was very little. His weight is put back on, and he was very fresh. Aoife said after a few days he was very fresh again. So he took the race very well, we think.
He's taken such a step forward, hasn't he, in the latter part of this year? I know you're probably difficult to get a gauge with just 2 weeks between the two races, but what about the Arc do you think will bring out the best in him?
I suppose he's form in all types of ground. He stays well, he quickens, he travels well, he's technically quick from the gate. So I suppose there's a lot of attributes that you probably need in the Arc, we think. Obviously, we might have preferred if the race was 3 weeks rather than 2 weeks, or 4 weeks rather than 2 weeks. But he's a hardy horse, and he has had a few breaks through the year, so he is fresh. He doesn't look like a tired horse. His coat is very tight. He's very fresh in himself. So yeah, no, we're very happy, Gina.
Aidan, I'm often fascinated when you talk about horses being on programmes, and we often hear that from you, and I think it's using reference points, and obviously the data at Ballydoyle, which somehow tells you very early what horses will become, and more often than not they do become that. Has Continuous been on different programmes through the year because he's developed so much and different facets and different dynamics, Aidan?
Yeah, I suppose that Jamie, he has. He obviously the French Derby was his first big target, I suppose, and then he finished that, and he had a little easy time for a while. Then he went to Ascot, and then he was second there, and then he had another little break, and then after that, I suppose we were looking at the Leger. The plan was to go to York for the Leger trial, and we were just hoping for a nice run, really, because we thought that he would improve a lot from the run. So obviously we saw what he did. So I suppose his programme did change. It obviously changed from a mile and a quarter to a mile and a half, and then it went to a mile and 6 in the Leger. So I think probably the day he really showed us what he could do, and we thinking that there was a lot to come from, was in York, in the Voltigeur. So I suppose that was the day kind of really stuck in our minds that he could be a horse for an Arc if he performed in the Leger, and he did, really, because we always think you have to get the trip well in an Arc. We felt if he was going to get a mile and 6 in Doncaster, he was going to be a very legitimate horse, because he is a good, strong traveller.
That said, just looking through the race, and you'll have a much better idea of this than us, but pace-wise, he's in a good spot in 7, but presumably you'll want quite a good test at the trip if possible. Do you think you'll get that, or is that a worry?
Yeah, I think he's good enough place. Like, obviously Ryan will ride every race as he finds it, but he is a good traveller, and he does quicken. So listen, it's much nicer to be drawn in there than out wide, really, I suppose. And there usually is a good enough pace in the Arc. Even the slow run Arcs, they will get going early. So hopefully he'll have a nice position, and he will be in a position that he'll be able to quicken. So hopefully, Gina.
I think the thing is, Gina, that he's quite deceptive, this horse. We know the stat about Leger winners, but he's not a slow horse, is he? He's shown different layers he's gone on, and the Arc suits him more than it does for Emily Dickinson, for example, who's now going for the Cadran. Yeah,
Emily Dickinson, Aidan, was entered up. Well, were you tempted to run in the Arc with her? Why did you choose the Cadran?
Yeah, we were thinking of it. If the ground had come up soft or heavy, we would have probably had a good, strong think about it. And obviously, for as long as I can remember, most of the time the ground is softer, or even softer down to heavy in Arc weekend. So obviously it looks like it's going to be different this year. But if that was the case, we would have definitely thought very hard about it. She has good form on on good ground as well, but she is better on with ease in the ground. And going Cadran trip, like we thought that she'd be more comfortable. She does stay very well as well. So and she seems in good form as well.
And are you happy enough with what the ground is over in France? Have you got a view of what it's like now going into Sunday?
Yeah, I think it probably has to be good. It could be even better, I think, but I suppose the temperatures are very high and there's not much dew. Like the lads are over there, Kieran's over there with the horse, and he said there's not much dew in the morning or anything. So I would imagine it'd be good ground, and wouldn't be surprised even if it was better if they don't get rain, I think.
And it was very fast, wasn't it, when potentially she didn't like it at Ascot? But anything other than that, you're happy with for her?
Yeah, I think so. Listen, when she ran, I think when she ran in the Gold Cup, she ran very well, even though the ground was quick. She didn't have any problem, but I suppose with her, soft ground doesn't inconvenience her in any way, where most horses it does.
Yeah, so that would play to your hands. Well, she looks to have a lovely chance of putting it up to Triomphe, and some lovely juveniles as well, Aidan. Two in the Lagardere. Is Ryan on questionable and unquestionable? Sorry, and how has he been since that incident in the stalls last time? Yeah,
he's been well. He's had plenty of time to get over it. He just anticipated the start and just jumped and he lost his shoes, hit the gate, and it just went wrong on him, really. We always had in the back of our mind that we were going to step him up to 7, and this was always the race we were thinking of doing it. He seems to be in good form. He worked during the weekend and worked very well. We were very happy with his work. So, hopefully this will be the first time over 7, and hopefully we think it will suit him.
And Henry Adams, obviously a lot less experienced, and he seems to be one that takes a bit of stoking. So you've gone for the blinkers, is it, on Sunday?
Yeah, he ran. He won his maiden without him. He won his group race with him. So he's a big horse, a big baby. He's had a good break since his last run. We ran him. And he won a Group 3 in Leopardstown, and then we gave him a break, and he worked very well during the week. He's a big horse, so there's every chance that he's come forward a good bit from that. 7 furlongs he's very comfortable at. We were debating whether we'd supplement him into the middle park. He was working that well, so hopefully we're going to see a lot more and learn a lot more about him.
Fantastic. And obviously the filly by Justify Opera Singer in the Marcel Boussac has looked very nice. I know you've won this with some lovely horses, the Founds and the Ballydoyles. Is there any comparisons that could be drawn with a kind of Marcel Boussac type with the filly of this nature?
Yeah, she's a lovely filly. When she stepped up to a mile the last day at Curragh, she won very well. And she's like all those Justifies. When they go up to a mile or even further, they get better. We were very impressed with her the last day. She's a big, honest filly. We think the triple suit her. We don't think there'll be a problem with the track, and we think and hope that she should run a very good race. Like, we're looking forward to seeing her run.
And Jackie O in the Opera has got, fabulous pedigree. I sort of feel, looking at her profile, that she could be sitting on a real standout performance. It was a good run, not getting the rub of the green behind Joseph's filly last time, I thought. Yeah, she just got. Ryan felt he just got back too far on her in the Curragh, and then they went very slow, and she was a little bit slow away, and he ended up in a bad position. He felt she came home very well. He felt there was a lot more to come from her. She's a filly that does handle ease in the ground well, but she's in good form, and her work's been very good recently. We think 1.25 miles in Longchamp will suit her well, and she could even step up a little bit further after this, but we're very happy with her work. Yeah, and because she's only had the 6 starts, I guess, Aidan, there's every suspicion that she's just, progressing every time. Is that what you've been seeing from her? Yes, I think there's no doubt. Yeah, her works and her runs are definitely getting better, and she's a big filly and is maturing all the time. Fantastic. Well, I know you'd be pressed to get over to your runners at Newmarket, of which you've got a whole host of exciting ones. Ylang today bounced back well, hopefully. Yeah, she did everything wrong in the Migler. We were hoping to get a lead and we didn't get it, and she jumped and ran too keen in soft ground, and we just didn't want to finish off the year with her with that kind of a taste in her mouth and that kind of a run. So we felt that she was going to be a Gillies filly, so we wanted to kind of travel her over and let her come up the track in Newmarket. Ryan is going to take his time on her today, just get her to relax and see where he finds himself after that. But it's kind of an exercise for next year is what she's on. We're very happy with her.
yeah, she's doing her work lovely. Rachel's riding her work and very happy with her. So yeah, no, it's kind of on a mission to do things properly and with the view to next year with her. So hopefully she will relax and run a nice race, and I look forward to next year with her then after that.
Brilliant. Well, we'll all look forward to seeing her in the Rockfell. I did have a special request to ask you about Capulet, another Justified. Did he surprise you, Aidan, with that run behind stablemate? Because he was quite a big price, wasn't he, behind Diego Velasquez?
Yeah, we thought he was very nice when he won first time in Dundalk, and we knew he was going to drag Diego Velasquez. We knew he needed to have a race for himself and learn. He's very lazy at home, Diego, and if he went and ran in the race and won 4 or 5 lengths, we felt he wasn't going to learn much. So that's why we ran Capulet. Like, we knew he was going to take him and he was going to make him fight. So and that's what he did do. We were delighted with his run that day, and looking forward to him today. On Saturday, it's a lovely form. We think the mile will suit him well. Nice ground will suit him, and yeah, we always thought he was a very nice horse, and again a Justify when he went up to a mile, and we'll go further next year.
Lovely. We're really looking forward to seeing him and all the runners over the next few days. We've very much enjoyed the cameo from a very handsome dog behind you as well. Is it a nice pointer?
That's Sarah's dog, Amber. Yes, sorry.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Aidan, thank you so much for your time and best of luck over the coming days.
Yeah, appreciate it, Gina. Thanks very much. Thanks, Jamie.